Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Life English Podcast. I'm your host, Henry, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Sarah. How's it going, Sarah?
Hey, Henry. I'm doing great, and I'm super excited about today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about something that many of us do almost every day, whether it's grabbing a quick bite or going out for a special meal. Yes, you guessed it, speaking English at the restaurant.
Exactly. Whether you're traveling, living abroad, or just going out for dinner, knowing how to communicate in English at a restaurant can be so helpful. And in today's episode, we're going to break it down for you with some real-life examples and practical phrases. So, if you've ever been nervous about ordering your food or asking for the bill, don't worry. We've got you covered.
Yep, we'll show you how to handle everything from asking for a table, ordering your favorite dish, to dealing with any little problems that might come up during your meal. And of course, we'll go over the important vocabulary you need to know to sound like a pro at the restaurant.
So, grab your seat, relax, and get ready to learn some useful English phrases that will help you next time you're out at a restaurant. Let's get started. All right, now let's set the scene. Imagine this. You walk into a restaurant. Maybe it's a cozy little cafe or a fancy bistro. You're feeling hungry and excited to try something new. You walk up to the host or hostess, and they greet you with a smile. This is where it all starts, right, Sarah?
Exactly, Henry. Whether you're in a casual place or a more formal setting, the first thing you'll probably do is talk to the host or hostess. They'll ask if you have a reservation or if you just want a table. Now, before we get into the specifics, let's take a moment to talk about some important vocabulary you'll need when you're at a restaurant.
Yes, let's go over some keywords so you can feel confident when you walk in. First off, you'll often hear the words host and hostess. These are the people who greet you when you arrive and take you to your table. Then, there's server, or waiter, waitress. They're the ones who take your order and bring your food.
That's right. And let's not forget about the menu. You'll definitely need one of those. The menu lists all the food and drinks available at the restaurant. And speaking of food, you'll see terms like starter for appetizers, entree for the main course, and dessert for the sweet treat to end your meal.
Exactly. And don't forget about the bill or check. That's what you'll need when you're ready to pay. Sometimes, the tip isn't included in the bill, so it's good to know that a tip is often given to the server based on the service you receive.
So, we've got our key terms down, but let's get into what happens when you walk into a restaurant. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a reservation, the host will check your name and seat you right away. But if you don't have a reservation, you might have to wait for a table depending on how busy the place is.
Right. And this is where English really comes in handy. Knowing a few basic phrases can help make the whole process easier and smoother. Like, instead of feeling shy when they ask, "How many are in your party?" you can confidently say, "Table for two, please." Simple and easy.
Exactly. And if they ask for your reservation, you can say something like, "I have a reservation under the name Sarah." We'll get more into phrases like these in the next part, but now you've got a good idea of what to expect when you arrive.
So, now that we've set the scene and covered some basic vocabulary, we're ready to dive into some role plays to show you exactly how these phrases come to life in a restaurant. But before we do that, let's take a quick break and get ready for the fun part. All right, Sarah, now let's jump into our first role play. We're going to show you exactly how you might speak when you first arrive at a restaurant. So, picture this. You walk in, and you're greeted by the host. This is where you'll need to use some basic phrases. Let's begin.
Sounds good. I'll be the host, and Henry, you can be the customer. Let's see how it goes. Here we go. Good evening. Welcome to Bella's Bistro. How many are in your party?
Hi, table for two, please.
Do you have a reservation?
Yes, I have a reservation under the name Henry.
Ah, yes, I see your reservation here. Right this way, please. Here's your table. Enjoy your meal. Your server will be with you shortly.
Thank you so much. So there you have it. As you can see, if you don't have a reservation, you might need to wait for a table. But if you do have one, the process is usually smooth. The key phrases here are, table for two, please and I have a reservation under the name.
Right. And notice how Henry didn't feel shy to say, table for two, please. This is an important phrase to remember. It's polite and simple. If you don't have a reservation, don't worry. Just say, do you have a table for two? And they'll let you know if they have any available seating.
And remember, if they ask for a reservation and you don't have one, you can always ask, do you have any tables available? And they'll either seat you right away or ask you to wait. No stress.
Exactly. And if you're with friends or family, don't forget to say how many people are in your group when they ask, how many are in your party?
So, that's how it goes when you first walk into a restaurant. You say, hello, ask for a table, and if you've made a reservation, you just mention the name you booked under. Easy, right?
Absolutely. Let's take a quick break before we move on to our next role play, where we'll talk about how to look at the menu and ask for recommendations. But don't go anywhere. This is just the beginning.
All right, we've got our table, and we're all set. Now, let's move on to the next part of the experience, looking at the menu and asking questions. Sarah, are you ready to be the server again?
Of course, I'm ready to help you pick out something delicious from the menu. Let's do it.
Wow, there are so many options here. I'm not sure what to choose. Hi there, can you recommend something for me?
Sure. What kind of food are you in the mood for? We have a great selection of fresh seafood, or if you prefer something lighter, our salads are really popular.
Seafood sounds good, but I'm not sure which dish to pick. What's your special today?
Our special today is the grilled salmon with a side of roasted vegetables. It's served with a lemon butter sauce. It's one of our most popular dishes.
That sounds amazing. I'll go with that. And can I also get a starter? What would you recommend?
How about our shrimp cocktail? It's light, refreshing, and pairs well with the salmon. You can't go wrong with it.
Perfect. I'll have the shrimp cocktail to start and the grilled salmon for the main course.
Great choice. And would you like to drink something with your meal? We have a selection of wines, or I can get you a glass of sparkling water if you prefer.
Sparkling water sounds perfect. Thanks.
All right, I'll get that order in for you. Your food will be out soon. Enjoy your meal.
So there you have it. In this scenario, I asked the server for a recommendation, and Sarah suggested the special of the day. Notice how I used the phrase, "Can you recommend something for me?" when I wasn't sure what to order. This is a great way to get some guidance if you're having trouble deciding.
Exactly, Henry. And if you're feeling adventurous or want to try something different, asking for the specials is a great option. Phrases like, "What's your special today?" or "What do you recommend?" can help you find the best dishes at the restaurant.
And don't forget about starters or appetizers. If you're in the mood for something smaller before your main dish, you can ask the server, "Can I get a starter?" Or, "What would you recommend for a starter?"
Absolutely. And if you're looking to pair your meal with something to drink, don't hesitate to ask about their drinks menu. You can ask, "What drinks do you have?" or even, "What's good to drink with seafood?"
Great tips, Sarah. And remember, if you're unsure about anything on the menu, whether it's ingredients, portion sizes, or preparation style, don't be afraid to ask. It's better to ask and get exactly what you want.
That's right. And if you have specific dietary restrictions, you can always ask, "Do you have any vegetarian options?" or "Can this dish be made gluten-free?" The more you ask, the better your dining experience will be.
Exactly. All right. We've gone through ordering food and drinks. Now, let's take a little break. And when we come back, we'll dive into what happens during the meal. We'll talk about how to ask for more drinks, how to complement the food, and maybe even how to handle a problem with your order. Stay with us. All right, we've chosen our meal, and the server is back with our drinks. Now it's time to place our official order. Let's dive into how you can confidently order your food and drinks in English. Sarah, let's pick up where we left off.
Hello again. I've got your sparkling water. Are you ready to place your order?
Yes, we are. I'll have the shrimp cocktail to start. And for the main course, I'll go with the grilled salmon with roasted vegetables.
Great choices. And what would you like to drink with that? We have a nice Chardonnay that pairs well with the salmon.
That sounds perfect. I'll have a glass of Chardonnay, please.
Got it. And for you, ma'am? I'll have the Caesar salad to start, and the grilled chicken with mashed potatoes for the main. I'll also have a glass of sparkling water, please. Perfect. So that's a shrimp cocktail and grilled salmon for you, and a Caesar salad with grilled chicken for you, both with sparkling water and a glass of Chardonnay for you. Would you like any bread to start?
Yes, please. Some bread would be great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll get that all in for you, and your food will be ready soon. Enjoy your meal.
Okay, let's break that down. In this role play, I ordered my starter and main course by saying, I'll have the shrimp cocktail to start, and the grilled salmon for the main course. This is a very polite and common way to order in a restaurant. Notice how I didn't say, I want, because I'll have. Sounds a little more polite and natural.
That's right, Henry. Another important part is ordering drinks. You could say something like, I'll have a glass of Chardonnay, please, or simply, can I get a glass of water, depending on what you want. It's important to include please. That's a nice way to be polite and show respect.
And don't forget, when ordering, it's good to use I'll have or I'd like instead of saying I want. This is more polite and sounds better in English.
Exactly. You can also ask the server if there's something you'd like to change or if you have a special request. For example, you might say, can I get this without cheese, or can you make that spicy? If you like it with a little kick.
Exactly, Sarah. And when they ask if you'd like something extra, like bread or a side dish, don't hesitate to say yes if you want it, like I did with the bread. You can simply say yes, please, or no. Thank you if you're not interested.
That's right. And when you're finished with your order, the server might double-check everything to make sure they have it right. A simple, that sounds great, thank you, is a nice way to confirm and let them know you're happy with your choices.
Exactly, Sarah. So, whether you're ordering food, drinks, or making a special request, just remember to be polite and clear. Use phrases like, I'll have or can I get, and you'll sound like a pro.
Yes. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're not sure about something on the menu, just ask your server. Phrases like, what do you recommend? Or what's in this dish? Are really helpful.
Perfect. Now that we've ordered our food and drinks, it's time to relax and enjoy the meal. But don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk about what to do during the meal, how to ask for refills, and how to complement the food. Stick with us. All right, we've got our food and drinks, and we're all set to enjoy the meal. But wait, there's more to it than just eating. Sometimes, during the meal, you might need to ask for a little extra, or maybe you want to complement the food. Let's dive into some common situations that might come up while you're eating.
This salmon is absolutely delicious. The lemon butter sauce is perfect. Henry, how's your food?
It's fantastic. The shrimp cocktail is so fresh, and the salmon is cooked just right. Actually, I'm going to need some more water. Do you mind asking for a refill?
Sure, let me call the server over. How's everything going? Is everything to your liking?
Everything is perfect. Thank you. But could I get a refill on my sparkling water, please?
Of course, I'll bring that right over. Anything else I can get for you?
No, that's it for now, thanks.
Everything is so good. I have to say the mashed potatoes are creamy and delicious. You should definitely try them.
I will. I will. And I have to say, the service here is excellent. The staff has been really friendly. So, let's break that down. In this role play, we had a couple of important moments. First, Sarah asked for a refill of my water. If you need more drinks during the meal, you can simply say, "Could I get a refill, please?" Or, "Can I get more water?" It's a simple way to ask for a drink top-up without feeling awkward.
Exactly, Henry. And notice how we also took a moment to compliment the food. If you really enjoy a dish, don't hesitate to tell the server, "This is delicious," or "I love the flavor of this dish." It makes the server feel appreciated and shows that you're enjoying your meal.
Definitely. And if you want to recommend something to a friend or dining companion, you could say, "You have to try this," or "This is my favorite dish here." It's a great way to share what you love with others.
Another important tip is asking for extra items. If you want more bread, extra condiments, or a sauce on the side, just ask politely. For example, "Could I have some extra bread, please?" Or, "Can I get some ketchup on the side?" It's easy, and most servers will be happy to accommodate your requests.
Exactly. And if something's not quite right with your meal, it's perfectly fine to ask for help. For example, if your food is cold or you want it prepared a different way, you can say, "Excuse me, this isn't what I ordered. Could you fix it?" Or, "Could I have my steak cooked a little more?" Just be polite, and everything will get sorted.
Right. And always remember, if you're enjoying the food, don't hesitate to compliment the chef or the server. It's always nice to hear positive feedback.
Absolutely. A little kindness goes a long way. So whether you're asking for a refill, complimenting the dish, or making a small request, just remember that polite communication is key. And don't be afraid to ask for what you need. You're the customer.
Exactly. We've covered a lot today, but we're not quite done. Stick around for the next section, where we'll discuss how to wrap up your meal, ask for the bill, and leave a tip. It's all about finishing off your restaurant experience smoothly and politely.
All right, so we've had a great meal. Everything's going smoothly. But what happens if something goes wrong? Maybe the food isn't what you expected, or there's a small issue with your order. Don't worry, it's all about how you handle it. Let's jump into a role play where we deal with a small problem in a friendly and polite way.
Excuse me, I think there's a problem with my dish. I ordered the grilled chicken, but this looks like a steak. Can you check that for me?
Hi there. I'm so sorry about that. Let me take a look at your dish. You ordered the grilled chicken, right?
Yes, that's right. I ordered the grilled chicken, but this is definitely a steak.
Ah, I see the mistake now. I'm so sorry for the mix-up. Let me get that corrected right away. I'll bring you your grilled chicken in just a few minutes. Please, don't worry about it.
Thank you so much for fixing it. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'll make sure it's perfect for you. Can I get you anything else while you wait?
No, that's all. Thank you for being so helpful.
So, in this situation, Sarah noticed that her dish wasn't what she ordered. Instead of getting upset, she calmly pointed it out by saying, "I think there's a problem with my dish. I ordered the grilled chicken, but this looks like a steak." This is a great example of how to address an issue politely without causing any stress.
Exactly, Henry. It's always best to stay calm and polite when there's a mistake with your order. The server is there to help, and a friendly approach goes a long way. Notice how I said, "Can you check that for me?" That's a nice way to ask for help without sounding demanding.
Right. And as a customer, if something's wrong, you don't need to be afraid to speak up. Just make sure to keep it polite. Something like, "Excuse me, I think there's a mistake with my order." This shows that you're being respectful while still getting what you need.
Exactly. And on the other side, notice how I, as the server, apologized right away and reassured her that I'd fix the issue. I said I'll get that corrected right away. It's important to show that you're taking care of the problem and that the customer's satisfaction is important.
And if the server doesn't catch the mistake right away, don't be afraid to kindly remind them. You could say, "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a mix-up with my order." It's a simple and polite way to point out the issue.
Exactly, Henry. And if you're the one fixing the mistake, always reassure the customer that it will be taken care of. Saying things like, "I'll make sure this is fixed for you," or "Don't worry, we'll get it right," makes the customer feel taken care of.
Right. And remember, most restaurants want to make sure their customers are happy, so they'll do their best to fix any problems quickly. If it's a small issue, just speak up politely and give them a chance to fix it. Mistakes happen, but it's all about how you handle them.
Absolutely. So, whether it's an issue with your food or drink, or even if you just need something extra, always remember to stay calm and polite, and everything will be sorted out.
That's right, Sarah. Now that we've dealt with a problem, we're ready to enjoy the rest of our meal. When we come back, we'll talk about wrapping up your meal, asking for the bill, and leaving a tip. So stay with us. All right, the meal is coming to an end, and now it's time for the final step, asking for the bill and leaving a tip. It's important to do this politely and smoothly. Sarah, let's wrap this up and show our listeners how to handle this situation.
Wow, that was such a great meal. Everything was perfect. Henry, do you think we should ask for the bill?
Definitely. Let's wrap it up. I'll take care of the bill. Watch how I do this. Excuse me, could we have the bill, please?
Of course. I'll get that for you right away. Here's your bill. You can pay at the front whenever you're ready.
Thank you. The meal was fantastic. And the service was great, too.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Let me know if you need anything else.
I'll take care of that at the counter. But here's a little tip for you. Thanks again for the wonderful service.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, and we hope to see you again soon.
So, that was our conversation about asking for the bill and tipping. Let's break it down. The most common way to ask for the bill is to say, "Could we have the bill, please?" Or, "Can I get the check, please?" You can use either phrase depending on where you are, but both are perfectly polite and commonly used.
Exactly. And once the server brings the bill, if you want to compliment the meal or the service, you can say something like, "The meal was fantastic," or "The service was excellent." It's always nice to leave a little positive feedback.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to tipping, it varies by country, but generally, in places like the US, tipping is customary. You can leave a tip in cash or pay it along with the bill. In many places, 10 to 20% is a good range for a tip.
Right. And when you leave a tip, you can either give it directly to the server or leave it on the table. Just make sure to say thank you and show your appreciation. A small tip can go a long way in making someone's day.
Exactly, Sarah. But if you're unsure about how much to tip, don't be shy to ask, "What's the usual tip here?" Most servers will be understanding and will gladly help you out.
That's a great tip, Henry. And remember, tipping is always optional, but it's a nice gesture to show gratitude for good service.
Right. So, whether you're asking for the bill, complimenting the meal, or leaving a tip, just be polite and friendly. That's how you make sure your restaurant experience ends on a high note.
Exactly. And that's it for our role plays today. We've covered everything from ordering food to handling problems and asking for the bill. We hope these conversations help you feel more comfortable when you're dining out and practicing English.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Daily Life English Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Happy dining and happy learning. Before we end today's episode, let's quickly review some of the key points we covered. Whether you're dining out in an English-speaking country or just practicing for your next restaurant experience, we've got you covered.
That's right, Henry. Here are some useful tips to remember.
First, when you arrive at the restaurant, always greet the host or server with a polite hello or good evening. Use phrases like, "Could we have a table for two, please?" Or, "Do you have any available seats?"
Exactly, and when you're looking at the menu, don't hesitate to ask questions. If you're unsure about a dish, you can ask, "What do you recommend?" or "What's in this dish?" to get more information before making your decision.
Remember to order politely by saying, "I'll have" or "Can I get?" It's the most natural way to order and ensures you're being respectful.
And if you need anything during the meal, like more water or extra bread, just ask politely, "Could I have a refill, please?" or "Can I get some more bread?" It's simple and effective.
Right. If something goes wrong, don't be afraid to politely address the problem. Just say, "Excuse me, there's a mistake with my order." The key is to stay calm and respectful.
And when you're ready to leave, remember to ask for the bill with phrases like, "Could we have the bill, please?" or "Can I get the check?"
Exactly. And don't forget to leave a tip if you feel the service was great. You can always show appreciation with a simple, "Thank you. The service was excellent."
Remember, polite communication goes a long way in making your dining experience enjoyable. Whether you're ordering, asking for a refill, or dealing with a problem, just stay polite and you'll be fine.
Thanks again for joining us on today's Daily Life English podcast. We hope these tips and role plays help you feel more confident the next time you're at a restaurant. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Daily Life English Podcast. We hope you found these restaurant role plays and tips helpful for your English learning journey.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have any questions or want to share your thoughts, we'd love to hear from you.
That's right. You can reach out to us on social media or leave a comment wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're always excited to hear from our listeners and get your feedback.
And if you're looking for more practice, check out our previous episodes in the playlist and keep improving your English every day.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Have a great day, enjoy your meals, and keep practicing English.
See you next time on Daily Life English Podcast. Take care, everyone.
Dining at a restaurant can be a delightful experience, but it often requires a specific set of English phrases. Sarah, how can mastering key expressions transform our dining experience?
Knowing what to say when you're ordering or even when you have an issue like when your meal isn't as expected changes everything. For example, asking, "Could I please have the menu?" with confidence not only gets you what you need but creates a positive impression.
That makes sense, but what if language barriers still lead to misunderstandings? We've all heard stories about orders going wrong due to miscommunication.
Absolutely. For instance, I once said "well done steak" in a French restaurant and received steak tartare. To avoid confusion, you can use gestures to help clarify or even show a picture if it's particularly tricky. Role-playing common scenarios is invaluable. It prepares you not just with vocabulary but with the natural rhythm of interaction. In the future, I'd say practicing with apps that utilize AI for language learning will make such practice more accessible and realistic. In many English-speaking regions, greeting the host warmly sets the tone. Saying, "Good evening, we have a reservation under," is an excellent start. It's important, too, not to interrupt the server as they explain specials. It's considered polite to let them finish.
But isn't some of this complexity frustrating, especially for newcomers? Some might argue it feels like a lot of unwritten rules.
It's true, and it can be overwhelming. I once forgot basic tipping norms and left without tipping at all, which isn't expected here. The key is to pick up on these norms gradually. Locals are usually understanding and helpful if you show you're trying.
Given that, how can someone prepare before their first dining experience abroad?
Reading guides or listening to podcasts focused on cultural etiquette helps. Looking forward, we might see augmented reality apps that provide real-time etiquette advice, minimizing these awkward situations.
Miscommunications at restaurants can be tough, leading to incorrect orders or unaddressed issues. How should one handle these situations effectively with finesse?
It's all about using polite language. If the wrong dish arrives, you might say, "I believe there's been a mistake with my order." Keeping your tone calm and respectful can turn a potential conflict into a simple fix. Certainly, a friend shared how her request for a refill during the lunch rush went unnoticed. Sometimes it's necessary to be gently persistent or ask for a manager if issues persist.
How do you anticipate future developments might aid in these scenarios?
AI-driven language tools are emerging where smartphone apps could diagnose the order of severity in restaurateur language. Imagine an app symbiotically interacting with staff apps to clarify orders in real time.
Confidence plays a big role in dining out, especially in unfamiliar surroundings. How does one's confidence in language directly impact their dining experience?
When you're confident, interactions flow more smoothly. Let's say you're asking for a recommendation. "What do you suggest from today's specials?" is more engaging than awkwardly pointing. Absolutely, I recall a time I ordered chips expecting tortilla chips but received fries in London. A blend of humility and confidence ensures learning and adapting. Technological advancements such as virtual reality simulations could offer immersive experiences, allowing learners to practice ordering in a virtual restaurant environment, ensuring readiness for real-world dining.